a reactive style of play for this one, though. The Maokai, against stuff like Sejuani, Wukong, Vi, you're normally answering to plays. Now, that does mean you have less of that early game obligation to get yourself ahead. You are going to have to protect these lanes, though. Wukong, Sylas, they like getting up in your face. It's triple melee topside from Top Esports, and they know how to play around early power. They love their power spikes. You need to be very careful now as EDG not to let them explode this topside.
I'll have to wait and see. We're going to jump straight onto the Rift. It is game number 2 of our match of the week. Top Esports take the first game as EDG look to try and bounce back. We got some interesting compositions to kind of bring ourselves back into this game with, but Gyos go loud. Everyone's feeling good. EDG are on the back foot. They need a good performance, and honestly, I think it's going to have to come from FoFo. They've let him have this year again, and we saw it in the last few games. Like, when he's able to sit down, actually be a presence in these fights, he can be fantastic for his teams. But he is, unfortunately, being hard focused by the side of Top Esports, and they're doing it so beautifully.
That they are. And in this game, it's not exactly going to be any easier. You don't have yourself a Sion backing you up in this one. You do have a decent amount of space bought by the stuff like the Yuumi ultimate, and something like the Maokai 2, giving you some temporary frontline. You know, they don't have HB bars attached to them. Just the threat of those ultimates give you a lot to work around. But you can still get flanked by this Wukong, still get the Sylas right on top of you. If they ever get to close that distance, you're going to have a very difficult game here. Top Esports, they definitely have their ability to skirmish and outplay their way to win stage.
Wait to see what ends up happening. Of course, JackeyLove, no stranger to this area, talked about how he could be, you know, one of two things, really. It could be absolutely fantastic or absolutely terrible, depending on when you remember him playing it. I will say this is actually a decent trade coming out here for EDG. Once that empowered Q ends up going down, there's actually very little trading back there for the Karma. So I really like the fact that Leave and Meiko go a little bit more aggressive and try to make a little bit more work for them there. QingTian back onto this Renekton. We know how good he can be on this particular champion. And I'm very curious to see if we're going to see some 1v3 or 1v1 v1v1 triple kills coming out here for the Renekton.
Yeah, he absolutely demolished YSKM on IG in their last series in that last game. Something like 5 solo kills across that game or that series. I'm trying to remember the exact number, but it was awfully dominant. Top Esports, they're already not having the easiest time in lanes as compared to that first game. FoFo has push in mid lane. Ale has push in on that top side. Jiejie needs to react to these lanes, not the same ability to go aggressive at this point, but still has much more of an ability to play around his lanes. Speaking of that, Tian actually heading towards this mid lane. Jiejie is not here in time just yet.
Not yet. He will get the shifting sands. He should be fine. Ooh, good flash there from FoFo. Recognized the Abscond Abduct would have put him in a very compromised position. And pick up where you left off for Tian and Rookie. They know that FoFo is the big late game insurance. They know that FoFo can be such a menace if left undealt with. So they are hard focusing him once again.
And Jiejie not in position to help his mid laner at that point. Of course, he's farming his way up through his top camps and getting himself slightly further ahead. There can be a payoff to this from FoFo, you know, just blowing the flash but not dying, when actually your jungler gets to a point in power and your flash being down doesn't get punished. But we know this mid-jungle duo from Top Esports. Yep. There is a likelihood that's going to be a return gank. EDG need to understand that, and understand that FoFo will need help the second time of falling. Absolutely.
Now, I'll recognizing that he has a bit of priority in mid lane with Maokai coming up behind him as well. He should be able to get himself out of here, no problem, no questions whatsoever. We'll walk straight in on top of QingTian, get the counter strike down. Needs to be very aware though that this is going to be a 2v2, actually maybe even a 3v4. As you can see, the Karma has actually moved up here. No Yuumi in sight, so the support will combat in favor of Top Esports for the moment, and it's just at the moment being mitigated. Both top laners get themselves back to their lane, and we can all calm down once again.
Yeah, but again, you can see much better from EDG in the early game. They actually have lanes which Jiejie can get himself onto the map with. He's got himself that top side scuttle. Probably going to lose that bot side scuttle either way. Mark is trying to even up numbers on this top side and create a little bit of a pressure vacuum, but Tian now left alone in this top side with QingTian. Actually able to finish Ale, who's pushing up fairly far here.
He looks to go for a decoy use. Oh! Good guy minion. QingTian lays in the stun there into the minion, not into the Jax, but flash for flash again. Remember, there's a long cooldown. He's going to be forced to flash as well. Ala kind of coming to life right now on this top side.
And we know that Ala has, in the past, been one of the very best top laners the LPL has to offer. Seeing shades of that just there, taking the 1v2 with that Jax. Very importantly so. That could have been a big opening for top esports. And as it stands now, you know, Tian took that time out of his clear to go towards that mid lane. He took that time to go towards this top side. But EDG, they haven't been found wanting this time. They've been finding a really good way to get themselves involved in this game, but not exploited. Ale playing towards the limit. FoFo and him both blowing their flashes, but really wasting a lot of time, and now blowing flashes too.
I mean, look, I'm not, you know, it might look a little bit weird there for QingTian to flash in and stun a minion, but you can see if he's even like 0.2 of a second faster on that, he gets the flash down, or he gets it before Ala can flash away, and he probably gets the kills. So millimeters between the top laners right now as both come back in with their favorite components of coming back into this lane. Pickaxe for QingTian, and of course Ala with that sheen means that his trading is going to be a lot more effective. Jiejie putting himself towards his top side, maybe feeling like he can go for a bit of a fight. There's the dominance coming in. No flash, remember, this time around. He does finally get his stun down. It's going to be a lot harder. You can see there Jiejie very aware that he does not want to try and kill off this Renekton and give over a free kill.
Yeah, seeing what QingTian can do with leads on this champion. Cross map comes in though. Top esports able to get themselves towards their first dragon of the game. JackeyLove briefly caught out. He can E over the wall if he wants to, but chooses to stand and fight.
And that should be first dragon now as well for top esports, seeing that the Maokai was topside. So it's a net positive, you imagine, here for top. Not losing anyone, gaining an objective, as the gold is pretty much dead even across the board. Mark has been mitigated completely by this Sivir, and this is exactly what you want as Leave. You want to be able to be trying to sit in this wave, stack up your coal, which you have now, obviously, you know, later on in this game, and just get yourself up to your first item. But now Leave, without his cat available to him, does use the ghost. They end up getting the exhaust out and the cleanse. Nicely done there. One more. JackeyLove and Mark come out on top in the bot side. No ignite means JackeyLove will not die, and in the 2v2 they get 2.
That's a huge mistake from EDG's bot lane. Leave walks up, must not have had spell shield, but as soon as that ignite goes down, you can see the mind game of Leave being like, okay, Meiko, only cast your heal after the ignite is off. And I don't think he gets it in time. I think Sivir doesn't get any of that extra HP, and then with that kill, the level 6 comes through. Cleanse on the exhaust. The ignite, as you can see, heal does not land before that ignite goes off, before Sivir hits the ground. Level 6 hit. That is a big, big win for top esports through that bot lane 2v2.
It did cost them a hell of a lot of summoners, but 2 kills is fantastic for them. Jiejie running now onto QingTian, who does have the dominance back and has Tian available to him as well. Tian actually a little bit behind, actually quite a bit behind, I must say, in the farm department. So not really hitting his Cyclone power spike just yet. Is very close to it. 1 or 2 more minions should be able to do it. Now Jiejie moving in towards Mark and Rookie in that mid lane. There is a nice Shurima shuffle. It catches Meiko. Not the one I thought would end up dying there. Mark will be staying alive as well.
Wait,
but the Yuumi is still pushing forward. Yuumi and Mark, the portal combat. And the cat's got claws. Nicely done there. Dominance was popped here by QingTian. Flash in, flash out. FoFo trying to run away, but he will fall. Now you're a lonely little cat with no real support. As I say that, Leave moving forward, wants this to work. He pops his ultimate. Here's a way to get out, my friend. Will it be enough? It looks likely. It does cost him his flash, but that's some brotherly love on the bot side to make sure his support lives.
What the heck was that? The Phalanx summoned from both Rookie and FoFo, kind of trading the Emperor's Divide on that one. Makes things really awkward. I think Meiko must have been caught out from transitioning between different teammates to get knocked off between that dive, but that is gold over to Rookie Silas. Definitely know Rookie's a great playmaker, one of the best of them in the LPL. Giving gold over to a Silas like that, not something you want to do that easily. EDG finding that loss in that 2v2 in the bot side and now in mid. What started as actually a pretty good nullifying early game for them is starting to give a bit more teeth to top esports.
Yeah, flash after Twisted Advance comes in, and this was almost disastrous. Let's have a look here. What happens? How does Meiko gets shoved out. How? Explain.
Yeah, so when the Azir ult is in motion, when it's being summoned, you cannot dash over it. So it will displace you for the entire duration of it. Those of you who remember it like Season 5, Azir ult used to stop all dashes going over it for the duration of it. That was changed a little while ago, but it still has those kind of like anti-moving moments at that point. But because of that, because of like the unforeseen kind of implications of that W being dragging the Maokai over the wall, things just get so messy so quickly. But in these skirmishes around these topside champions, like the Sylas, we just know that Sylas is great at this point in the game, playing around these bloody face-to-face fights.
Back into live, dragging up in a minute 30-ish as we wait to see what these teams want to try and prioritize. It looks like, I will be honest, I don't expect EDG to try and contest against this next dragon. Yes, you technically could, but you've got a Jack scaling in the side wave, you've got a Sivir stacking up her Cole, the Azir.
But the time is not yet now.
Yeah,
it's not here yet. Wait a little.
We're not at the late game. We're still at the very much the early game. You don't need to be throwing it away against that, especially considering we have, you know, top esports tend to take these fights with something as powerful as a Renekton.
Yeah, Renekton, speaking of, just had his W eaten up by that counter-strike. Meiko being eaten up by the bot lane. Our top esports spot out in the enemy jungle, maybe going on a warding mission, but it's another kill over the JackeyLove. JackeyLove had a also incredibly good game one on that Varus. He's on fine form today, giving gold over this Zeri Yumi, or sorry, the Zeri and the Karma. Very difficult, just as QingTian falls on the top side. It is traded, at least for EDG.
Wow, yeah, I was not expecting to come back into that and just see the tree right on top of the alligator, but it ends up being it. We're going to see a picture-in-picture replay.
Yeah, what happened
there.
here?
He just gets caught.
Detective
like,
hats on. Let's see what happened here. I think he's literally just going down to put a ward, and I don't think anyone was there for him to hop onto Q lands.
He's going back to lane.
Go back to lane, trying to get some vision on his way there, and takes an unexpected detour to the death zone. He's just going to make his way back to his AD carry at this point, but Asleep has been laning without a support for the last few minutes with that mid-roam, and then also that bot lane death, bot jungle death on Meiko. Seeing a CS advantage build up there as well. Cole is in that infantry, but this Sivir falling further behind than they really want to be.
Yeah, 20 CS or so. It's actually pretty much CS leads across the board, and top esports going to get themselves their next dragon. As expected coming into this one here, they don't want to fight until they really have first, if not second item. JackeyLove looking to make something work in this bot side. A sidestep, a good spell shield there from Lee. Means he's not going to get caught out by the Cyclone. He's able to keep moving forward. And with that, Ghost and Heal has enough movement speed to keep himself alive. However, I will say you have lost a fair few summoners now on this bot side. Be very aware of what's going on around you. Make sure that doesn't happen again.
Top esports have themselves that early advantage. One thing that we led off with between these two teams building up this match is that both of these teams are ruthless when they get leads. I do feel as though EDG, they've given a bit of a free pass to top esports with that first game draft, particularly in terms of the early game. And even in this second one, Jiejie on the Maokai, not really able to make aggressive plays, making the reactive ones instead, and that doesn't leave you in great position when top esports are so good at making very quick plays. See, the Meiko is on his way down to this play, but top esports so quick at finding their mark. As much as this play doesn't work out in this regard, EDG, they really have been. Oh, solid kill on the top side, I guess. We'll talk about that one.
Yeah, I guess we come back and Allah is dead. We'll see what happened there in a moment's time. I'm noticing there's a lot right now in this game. We leave, we look at one pit, and then we come back and someone's dead.
Yeah, I'm kind of sat there like, what do we talk about? You know, dive into this one point about top esports making really quick plays. No, there's always something more to keep yourself on your toes. Both these teams great at seeing the openings when they're presented. No dragon up for now. Herald in the inventory of Tian. Maybe a power play to be made around that one. Would probably see that being dropped toward JackeyLove. If you can get this JackeyLove to cut like this Zeri kind of critical mass where they pop off at like 2-3 items, it's get really, really scary after that point. So LA walked up to this wave. Gets his ultimate down, but goes under tower. Oh. That is a top draw flash. Take about QingTian. Flashes out of counter-strike, understands at that point there's no way to dodge out the empowered W. That is a really nice outplay.
It is. We're going to have a fight now in this mid lane as we come back in. Jiejie does end up getting the trade back, so he's killed off Rookie. Tian was tanking as well, so they won't be able to finish off this tower. Not yet anyway, and that's a trade of 1-for-1. Not ideal there for top esports, but you can see slowly but surely they've gone from 1,000 gold lead. Now it's 2,000 gold lead. They're getting pressure in the lanes. They're keeping the Sivir down, and speaking of keeping the Sivir down, they know that she is all on her lone. Leave is going to have to do what his name says and get the hell out of there.
JackeyLove gonna be heading towards this bot turret. Of course, Herald has been used in that mid lane instead of going down towards JackeyLove. That's absolutely fine. First turret secured for him either way. Why not give some more gold over to Rookie as well with the Herald he put down there earlier leave. Finally able to walk up towards this bot side. Jiejie there too. Just gave him a little bit of coverage. But it really does feel like, again, EDG struggling to make the big plays in this early game. They don't find it easy to get up in top of Esports' face. That is ult for ult again, as we tend to see in this matchup, but pinpoint skill shots mean that Rookie get right onto the board. Hell dropped after this point. What the heck happens under this turret though? How does this end up going that way? Because you have that Yumi ult, I understand that. How does that lead to anything more after this? Oh, the wave gets cleared out. They weren't checking the HP of the minions, like, surely the Herald should be tanking this. Not to be the case. Summoned outside of it, and Rookie caught off guard by a timely punish from Jiejie and Meiko.
Yeah, really, really well done there. And of course, Top Esports now finding themselves in the early lead. They've got a soul point presenting themselves, or presented to themselves, in a minute's time. JackeyLove looking to be very aggressive in that mid lane, as Rookie was a little bit on a flank. Spell shield used there by Leave, so nicely done there in that regard. I will say you can spell shield the Silas hijack if you have one. And so we'll see now. Rookie's going to be taking away that Maokai ultimate. And this is the thing, when you pick the Maokai and you have a mid laner like Rookie, he just gets access to so many fantastic ultimates. You've got the Azir ult, you've got the Yumi ult, of course the Maokai one as well. Jiejie put a cat stuck up his tree, seeing if he can maybe catch somebody out. They haven't figured out where they are right now, but with the Rift Herald now going over to Top Esports, 30 seconds until the dragon spawns, they will want to try and fight around this.
Yeah, 30 seconds till the dragon spawns. EDG, they don't have ways to like make quick aggressive plays, but they can hold their ground well with that Maokai ult. They've pushed into the enemy jungle, they've established vision, which means that Rookie can't just fly over a wall with that stolen Maokai ult, make things very difficult for them. And once again, we're heading in towards this mid lane. JackeyLove currently at 2-level advantage over Leave, though. Second tier of that ultimate, so bursty nowadays. EDG, they're going to have to puzzle their way into a very strong team fight in this one, because with the difference between the AD carries at this point, very difficult to win the DPS race.
They are starting up the dragons, so this is deny soul point. Rookie will be running out of that Maokai ultimate very soon. There it is. He has to use it a little bit prematurely, you would imagine. He goes in over the pit as they get some decent damage onto the tank. There's going to be a good Bramble smash. JackeyLove trying to go in, but he gets immediately caught out and forced to flash away. They found the back line. The dragon goes over. It was actually secured by Jiejie before he went down. Now, can you get out alive? That is the question. Flash away. Tian goes straight back in, and Leave has died. Meiko needs a couple more seconds before he can reattach. Should be able to get the rest of him and his team out, but mission successful for EDG. They've gotten themselves the dragon.
And they get themselves a shutdown onto JackeyLove too. This player is one that is never afraid to go aggressively, and we see that again in this fight. Solid. Caught out. Flash not quite available to Rookie to go more aggressive at that point, but EDG, much like the first game, not going down without a fight. They get themselves a dragon, denying soul point away from Top Esports. They get themselves, of course, the 9% scaling resist for themselves from that base dragon as well. Meiko in the brush. I wonder if they're drawing in this play. Okay, you best not recall here, buddy.
Oh, flash in. He's going to try and use the stolen Jack's ultimate, but now Rookie kind of caught in no man's land right now. He's going to have Tian and QingTian TPing in. I love to praise Rookie, but sometimes you gotta know when the play is done, and right there, unfortunately, does cost him and his team a couple of summoners, but it doesn't mean he loses his life.
Crouching Tiger, hidden cat. Meiko sat in that brush and does a really good job of, I mean, I guess, I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but understands that he can just shadow that lane, that lane, allow Jack to kind of farm that out. Going back into this one though, JackeyLove, he was so crucial to the gold lead from Top Esports, has so many items at this point that just goes a little bit too aggressive, doesn't quite get the burst out in the initial members at this point. Maybe if Tian also manages to get into the backline and get some disruption off, that could have been a much bigger play, but not quite coordinated enough to protect JackeyLove on the engage at that point. No matter, still very far ahead of that game, still has himself a lot of golden items being built up shortly after that point, but it's still a breath of fresh air for EDG. They get themselves a little bit of gold, they get themselves a bit of a breather themselves, and get themselves back to farming and back to trying to build up those items.
The thing is, the longer you delay this game here for EDG, the better it becomes for you. You're the one with the Sivir and the Azir. You will shred these team fights if allowed it. So we'll wait to see what they're going to go for. That win condition of the Soul still very much there. There's a mountain as well. We talk about how important they can be to stack. Come back into live. 20 minutes on the clock. Still only about a 2,000 gold lead in favor of top esports. They have 2 dragons to the 1 of EDG. No turrets taken by EDG right now. Very difficult to get on top of those right now. And I will say that QingTian on this Renekton is going to start to feel the pressure of this Jax in the side lane. So Tide of top esports need to figure out where they want to go with this and how they want to try and advance that lead to the next stage.
They don't have themselves that sole point to force EDG to fights before their objectives are completed. EDG kind of get to choose those dragon fights, at least the next one, kind of at their leisure. Can't afford to give up one more before they start to get really, really worried. As Tian swipes away that blue buff. LA trying to deny something on this side of the jungle, which is unlikely to be taken by themselves either way. So top esports pushing up, getting themselves onto the other side of the river. They get themselves a bit more vision control around the side of the map that they want to play around. Next dragon in 2 minutes. There's a ward on the Baron from top esports, but it's not like they have deep vision into that whole side of the jungle. They do have it on this side though, on the blue side. They can't afford to overforce. Again, reminder of what EDG's composition does. It does react very well.
A lot of soldiers on the top side. Not going to equate to anything much else from that. Leave picks himself up his red as Jiejie flashes away with the cat in his tree. And I will say right now, we talked about how far ahead JackeyLove was. It's not equating into any kind of items. Leave has a Phantom Dancer. He has a Crackasair. He is in tow with the enemy AD carry. So this Sivir is building up to 2, 3, 4 items. That's where this game starts to become a little bit more dicey, a little bit harder to predict. And as we mentioned in that last game, or the last series, I should say, the more you stack up those dragons, specifically the mountain, the harder it becomes for something like a Zeri, very short range, to burn through the likes of the Maokai and the Jax. But wait to see how that one goes. 30 seconds till the next dragon spawns. With everyone resetting, you can see most summoners available. FoFo should have his, as should Leave. As everyone starts to make their way down towards this, kind of area of the map to contest for it once again.
Yeah, so top esports not able to kind of upkeep their deep vision on the dragon side of the map, on the bot side, but they have got someone
Rookie!
top, but Rookie's walking into so many people.
He's walking into so many people, immediately has to go into stasis to make sure he does not die. Now he's got exhausted. It doesn't look very good for him right now. He's got plenty of dashes. He doesn't get hit by the counter-strike, and Rookie gets himself out just for the moment. They are still chasing on EDG, but this might be too much flash for Flash. Rookie stays alive. How? Now Mark has been killed by Lee. This is looking awful for the side of top esports. QingTian over the backside of the double kill for the Sivir. Rookie is still doing stuff, still alive. Flash by JackeyLove as he's trying to take down Ala. Now it's top esports on the offensive. Tian finds everything. Wait, Rookie got a kill? How? How does Rookie get a kill there? He starts off by getting caught out and he still comes out on top.
Nowhere else in the world can you see this kind of skirmishing. Somehow top esports find their way through to a broken team fight win. When that starts with Rookie going honestly hilariously deep into the enemy jungle, 1v2 very briefly at that point. What we just talked about EDG, what's their composition good at? Responding to aggressive plays? That just shows you the caliber of this team and how well they can skirmish their way to victories. Gonna have to see so many, there are so many different angles of replay we could go to towards that. I hope we get to see one of them. Dragon is taken for top esports after that point, and the Baron seems to be up on the table for them too. We're going right back to the
just
start.
Follow Rookie in this replay. That's all I want.
Rookie didn't understand that there was a Yuumi and a Jax heading his way. Things get very, very spooky after that point, but Rookie still has the staying power to keep himself out of this. The counter-strike not quite in range means that despite EDG having a good intro to this fight, can't quite finish it off. Mark fights Jiejie, I guess. But after all of this, you can again see that actually, despite the various members of top esports going in and out, it's not the Rookie Silas, the JackeyLove Zeri, which are really finding themselves in harm's way. And
oh my god!
That's the kind of play you put your heads in your hands at, because Leave, he knows he's over there.
We're coming back straight into it. Rookie, he's looking for it again. Yeah, this time around does get caught out, does end up getting killed, but I mean, regardless of this little faux pas, Rookie just living on the edge, and that is the difference. Look, you may turn around and say, you know, JackeyLove on the Zeri in the summer finals last year was in, he gets caught out, they lose the game, they lose the finals, it's unfortunate. It doesn't matter because you have to play on that line. If you're not playing to the very edge of how you can play, then you're not taking the right moves. You're never going to be as good as Faker. You're never going to be as good as Rookie because you're not taking the risk. You have to play on that edge, and that's exactly what Rookie does, but sometimes it doesn't go exactly to him. As we come back in, we see how this game kind of goes. I will say, of course, we didn't get to really talk about it, but Mountain Soul was picked. Soul Point was picked up, as we can see. Yeah, he just.
Yeah,
this one wasn't a highlight reel. Yeah, that's a picture-in-picture.
That's one of those you don't want to hit. A reminder, this is, of course, in terms of the stakes for the whole league, yeah, this is a fight between two top teams. We expect to see these teams deep into playoffs, making championship runs. But on a more personal level for these teams too. EDG have not beaten top esports in the regular season since 2019. It is, however, for the last 7 splits, only failed to go the full distance one time. It's something like 6 out of the 7 series that they played against each other. It's gone the distance. And EDG, see it happening again, but Leaf brought out, has a spell shield.
Yeah, spell shield ain't gonna do much for you there, my friend. You needed a cat on your back, and that cat was up on top lane. Now Rookie looking to see if he can maybe catch out Jiejie. If they can kill off the Maokai, that's a guaranteed Baron, you would imagine. Now Rookie pushing forward, gets exhausted, jumps straight back in with the Cyclone, and everyone else coming in on top of him. He should be fine, but I will say, they're taking some very big chunks off their own health bars, and they're not that healthy after the end of it. FoFo TD towards the top lane, top esports disengaged. It looked like that should have been a hell of a lot better for the side of top, but they haven't been able to get anything else to stick, and this is where the late game scaling starts to become a factor in Nymaera.
Does. Lots of health bars kind of low. Just wondering who else is on the map here. You don't have lead. If you heard Dale, he's going for it.
He's going for it. He jumps in on top of 5, but he doesn't get FoFo joins him as well, but nobody's going to be falling. QingTian's just too big. FoFo trying his very best to stay alive into this one. It was fine for EDG. It was okay, and they just went too close to the sun. The Sivir is back. Will they go with this? This is risky. I don't know if I agree with this call.
But EDG, they've got so much on their own heads about top having low HP bars, but they have so much regen, they have so many shields. Leave is here, he has Ghost and he has ult, but how much can they realistically do without the solo laners?
It's risky. Top esports half committing, half not. Mark and Rookie very low. Here we go. They're going to go try and disengage, go for the full fight. Stolen ultimate. They're going to use that one there to get them forward there. Leave, trying to see if he can dodge them out. Flashed on top of by Rookie as he takes him out one more time. 3 and 5 on the Sivir, not doing exceptionally well. Really would love that third item before this next dragon fight, but they're not going to get the Baron, so EDG, they did their job.
Whatever top are at low HP, they don't stay that way for long. You have the Karma Shields keeping them alive. Kingslayer, Gore Drinker, Divine Thunderer as well. Top esports really understanding that as long as they don't hit 0 HP, they always have an ability to fight. This starts with yet again, Leave just getting absolutely blasted by Rookie. Had that very awkward flash-for-flash moment, I guess, for Rookie in that crazy fight just earlier, but Leave so struggling to deal with this Silas from Rookie. MVP at game 1, making a hot run for it again in game 2.
3,500 gold lead. We come back to live. 20 seconds till Baron spawns. You do not have flash on quite a few carries here, so it's a little bit harder to see who's going to be coming out of this. If Mark gets caught, if Rookie does go a little bit too far forward, it ends up being a much more difficult situation. Now, EDG getting priority and QingTian getting caught out. Ala feeling confident right now. Oh my god, how does he find it every single time? But FoFo perfectly flashed over the wall. They can't really move forward on this. QingTian goes golden to stop everyone from on top of the final chapter. Getting more damage. Tian loses his decoy, but it does its job. QingTian almost falls down. He needs to reset. This could just be dragging out of EDG. I don't think top can fight it, but they may look for Baron.
They're going to have to at this point. They have to have a response. At least they can buy time for QingTian to teleport back in. They're playing for the turn 100% though. They need to take someone down. EDG, what have you got left in the tank?
Looking for a fight. The TP's coming in. There's a stolen Maokai ultimate as they try and defend everybody. They're going to get caught out here. Ala trying to play frontline. FoFo free hitting with the Azir, using his shoulders to make sure he can get the damage. So much there. Don't know if they're going to be able to continue this one here. And EDG, they're turning the tables right now, Nymaera. 16 to 8. It does not matter because 2 dragons stacked up. Ala's significantly tankier.
Yeah, but oh my god, Jiejie completely thwarting that turn with saplings in the bush. Top Esports, if they get stuck in, they could really make things work. But Tian, with only 500 HP left, how much can he realistically do here?
It's a suicide mission. He goes in to try and steal. He does not get it, and he immediately dies. You have to respect the trier. God does love one, but he is now with God as he goes to the gray screen. And EDG are bringing this game back.
They're bringing it back to damn near even gold. Again, these two teams, it's just destined for them to go the distance to make things close. And EDG, after losing a back and forth game one, having a damn good crack at it in the second game two to take things to a third game. They have items now, 3 items on Ally, who has been a real difficulty for Top Esports to remove from the front line because the Yumi's on top of them. Of course, 3 items now hit for leave as well. If you don't finish the fight off in this front line very, very quickly and you threaten leave again with something like a miraculous abscond abduct from rookie Silas again, EDG are going to win the damage check. Be damned about this area. This area is not going to win against the Sivir at this point with the Yumi on them.
I mean, looking at the way the game is set up right now, gold, dead even. Dragons 3-2, but it's 2 mountains, and I'll take the stacking of the mountains over anything every day. You're also looking at a 3-item Sivir in tow alongside the Top Esports JackeyLove. So this composition has come to life. QingTian, I gotta say, it's just not going to be that useful right now on a side lane. It's going to be on Rookie to deal with Alva because everyone else is just going to die to this Jax.
So comes down to what can you do outside of those side lanes then. JackeyLove, haven't talked about him that much recently either. As we were talking a little earlier, this Zeri can struggle to deal with some of the very, very tanky frontliners. It's the Radiant Virtue on Jiejie. It's not like it's Leandries or Night Harvest or anything like that. With the Baron built up, EDG, they realize they are under no threat. They control the entire side of the jungle that they're on. There's no teleports to flank them. They can just walk up, stack is 5. It's not like Top Esports have themselves that much wave clear, if any, really. Start hitting these turrets pretty even.
Looking to crack open the base right now. Complete shift in terms of the metrics of this game, in terms of the feeling of this game. EDG find themselves back in the driver's seat for probably the first time this series. They've been playing from behind almost exclusively, and with these Baron minions going for at least another wave, we're going to see Tian trying to look for something. Does get onto leave, but you can see just how much damage they put out. EDG are putting them to the sword. Cleansed by JackeyLove keeps him alive, as does the Immortal Shield Bow. And everyone backs away, but it looks like they may have done their job. They haven't lost the inhibitor just yet. EDG can't end until the base is cracked.
Wukong in this series, in the first 2 games, has really struggled to close down these carries. Tian gives a good attempt at it, but it's just not enough to get through the spell shields and the Yuumi and everything on top of it. Top Esports, you really are, again, looking for Rookie to be the difference maker. QingTian gonna struggle. Tian, seeing it just on our screens there, also struggling to really land his mark. How much can Top Esports realistically do when EDG actually set up as 5 people? They've got themselves a lot of gold. They've got themselves a gold lead for what feels like the first time in this series so far. And they've gone back into base to spend it.
EDG 5-1. Both teams on 5-1. Only really dropping games to other high caliber teams. EDG dropping to IG, and of course Top Esports dropping to Weibo right at the start of the split. So this is a massive temperature check on where these teams stack, where we expect them to land. We talked about it beforehand of these are teams that we're looking at as championship contenders. Honestly, EDG a little bit of a surprise championship contenders. I think we definitely saw them as playoff contenders, but maybe not so much championship. They have come into the spring split of 2023 and looked fantastic so far, really just absorbing everything in their prime. And this is a squad that has lost like 80% of its roster. It's only Jiejie and Meiko who stayed.
20 seconds till this Dragon. It would be sold for Top Esports. I don't think they can contest it at all. They've gone for the cross map instead. I think they realize if EDG just choose an area of the map to sit as 5 people on, Top Esports can't really say that much about it at this point. Vision control massively stepped up from EDG. They have a very tanky Maokai leading the way on that too. They are getting themselves to 3. Mountain Dragon stepped up. Already, Top Esports were struggling to get through the front line. Already, they were struggling to close out these kills. It has just got that much harder.
Top need to find an advantage. They need to find a way back into this game. You imagine if you're looking at anyone, you're looking at Rookie. Bloodthirster finished off for JackeyLove, so his survivability is a lot better now in these team fights. You imagine maybe JackeyLove doesn't need Mark beside him at all times, and already you can see Mark's going to have to try and be A little bit of a caregiver here to maybe Tian or QingTian to get them into the backside, get this Sivir under pressure, who now has the Lord Dominic's regard. You've almost got a death cap here for FoFo. This is critical mass for EDG. They are at the point in the game where they should be stronger in the team fights. I even see Jiejie picking up an elixir of sorcery in his inventory for this next fight because he knows that this could be it.
That makes complete sense. Jiejie has himself the Blighting Jewel, extra magic penetration as well. Earlier in the game, those saplings were really hurting top Esports as they chase through brushes to try and close down at these kills. Top Esports, it feels like they are a little bit more cowed when looking for these engages at this point. Tian really struggling to close off these kills. There is that one pesky Warden River which is spotting EDG heading between the lane, heading between those brushes, but Top Esports, they cannot afford to be hasty. One more team fight loss, and going to a game 3.
Great flank from Tian, but he's going to be spotted immediately. They know exactly where he is, and now he knows that they know, so he's going to have to back himself right the way, all the way back. They have dealt with bot lane fairly well, Top Esports. So there is no super minion threat as of the moment. All summoners are going to be available. This is going to be the fight. Baron started off. Scryer's Blue does call out that they are starting, and JackeyLove moving forward. Doesn't land. Oh, can they though? Tian has been jumped on. Tian's in the pit too early. Oh my god, that was so close. Tian almost got it off, but not quite able to get the smite. Now in a 5v4, can you run away? That's all you can do right now. Top Esports, Rookie trying his best to cover the wave, but bot lane's got 2 super minions. Rookie still with that engage available to him. Maybe they go for it, but a great ultimate there, the final chapter. Not able to burn down JackeyLove just yet, but he loses his immortal shield bone. Now, what do? EDG are banging on your door, and you haven't answered just yet.
Rookie hasn't been able to answer. He's got a 0, but he can't dive in. EDG, they picked the fight before Rookie has got all of his arms ready.
Here we go. This is going to be their final defense. They're going to look for it. There's the JackeyLove ultimate to clear the wave as he's putting down some significant damage. This is good from Top Esports, and they should be able to survive. There's going to be no chase down because you have the Streamer's Legacy, but I imagine we're looking at 2 minutes, 15 seconds, and that soul for either side is where we're going to end this game. It's still going to keep going.
We have gone the maximum amount of dragons without a soul. 6 of them taken, 3 either side. And Tian has tried really hard to make the most out of this scenario. But what can you do with all of these saplings without playing blocker as well? He still gets close. 35 HP I think I saw in live. You're actually going to answer 36. It doesn't get much closer. You end up taking that, you end up stealing that, things work out very differently. Ale caught alone on the side lane.
He's got alone, or is he? He's got some friends, and you've lost Mark. You've got a great engage. Rookie looks for something, but Leave does not die. And finally, FoFo gets himself the kills. Triple for EDG's mid laner, and we are going the distance. We are going to game number 3.
As it was meant to be, these teams, they always give us the show. They give us 3 games. EDG, they have to batten down the hatches, weather the storm, but they come out of those waves riding high.
What a game coming out from EDG. They send us all the way. 16-16 in kills. And a 3rd game here. Let's come back into this one here, and we are going to have another one. I believe we're going to be able to get ourselves back into this game. It's going to be back into the series to the live point. What a great game. What a great series so far. And the great thing is that it doesn't feel like it's either side really making massive mistakes. Yeah, sure, there's one littered around here or there, but it's outplayed. It's outthinking. It's out macro. As we're going to take a quick break because we need to have our voices come back to this game 3. We'll see you very soon. We're going to be coming